We're back, and you're talking to Mr. Legendary. Let's start off by saying I do not cover celebrity gossip. I do not want to get into a celebrity column. I do not want to start talking about the most latest and greatest things that are going on because, to be quite frankly, I have other things to do than to be updating YouTube videos about other people's lives while I'm currently trying to live mine. I would prefer for you all to go to other channels for that, but today we are going to be right spot on with this Neo ex and his wife. Um, the things that are going on there. Let me think of her name. Oh, Crystal Renee. We're gonna be right spot on. We're talking about Crystal Renee and Neo. I too am just scrolling on Instagram and saw, boom, Crystal's wife of 8 years. Let's see if we can get exactly where it popped up. 8 years, her statement, blah blah blah, about what she's going through and how she's ready to call it quits. I have not done like proper background on everything that's going on because I don't need to. I don't want to. I know enough to know what I had issue with and what I wanted to speak on. So that's what I'm gonna talk about. Make sure this background music ain't too loud. Um, let's start off by reading exactly what she said, and then we'll get into some of the other stuff that's in this article because he actually responded. And just said what he had to say. But let's go ahead. 8 years. 8 years of lies and deception. 8 years of unknowingly. I have to highlight. Oh, I want to highlight this shit as is red. Oh, I can't even do it. 8 years of unknowingly, meaning she had no knowledge of her sharing her life and husband with numerous of women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Maybe that's the part that she wanted to say that was unknowing. But she put unknowingly sharing my life unprotected, blah blah blah. Every last one of them. So I guess I didn't read that unprotected part last night. I probably was a little sleepy, but I think that's what she was trying to highlight, and that's why she actually said every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. That is not a narcissist. That is not what that is. I don't like and I don't allow people, women or men, to use words unless you define those words or you can tell me exactly why you're just using that word in this statement. Don't just call him a narcissist because what he did in that specific instance felt to you like he was being a narcissist. I need you to know exactly the definition of a narcissist and tell me how that applied to what was going on next. That was going on. But let's keep going. I would no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. I choose me. I choose my happiness. As we start getting into that, grow and be you and independent woman stuff, and it starts to irk my nerves because you automatically just trying to make it about something else, and that's not what this is about. This is about her husband who chose to sleep with other women. It's not about what you choose and I choose happiness. But let me stop because I'm going to keep reading it. I'm going to read the whole thing. I choose my happiness and health. In respect, I gained 3 beautiful children out of this, but nothing else but wasted years and heartache. I ask that you all please stop sending me videos or information of him cheating because what he does is no longer my concern. I am not a victim. Okay. I'm choosing to stand tall with my head held high. If someone can't love you the way you deserve, then it's up to you to love yourself. With no hate in my heart, I wish him nothing but the best. I don't think anybody deserves anything. I think you earn certain things, and I believe we all have to come to terms and accept what we earn in relationships and life and jobs. Most of us are willing to accept what we get from a job. We earn our pay, we earn our raises, we earn our promotions. But when it comes to love, for the most part, women have an issue with earning the love that they swear that they want more than anything, and the happiness. They believe that they deserve to be loved a certain way, and if a man does not love you that way, then you should leave him. That is one of the most bullshit statements that I've ever read. I'm not choosing them, but if someone can't love you the way you deserve, then it's up to you to love yourself. That is not even what marriage is about. And again, we get back to the what is marriage? What is relationships? What is the purpose of marriage? Why do people get married? What is the benefit of getting married? It Marriage was never about love. Marriage has always been about survivability. We now, in modern times, have gotten to a place to where we decided that because we don't need other people to survive, that now we can marry based on love and happiness and everything else. But there was a time where women truly needed men to survive, and they truly needed to be attached to a man. So we decided to say, you know what? I want to be able to claim you as my own. Women said, I want to be able to claim you as my own, and you protect me. Let's go ahead and make this official, and let's get a union under God. And it was fine like that. And then we started letting the government dip in and say, okay, well, if you break that vow, then you're going to be penalized legally. Majority of men are going to be penalized legally and financially if you break these vows and you break this pact to be one with this woman. What has happened here? Let's go back up because I want to start breaking this down. 8 years of lies and deception. Can we truly say that this superstar, I don't believe Neo is a regular smegular singer here. I don't believe he's a regular guy. Neo has been a songwriter for a really long time. I don't know his net worth. I want to look that up. I should have looked that up. I want to know his net worth. I want to know it now. Because I know Neo and I follow him for a while, and I don't believe he's ever been a regular person. There goes his net worth. Neo's net worth. He has a net worth of $9 million. Neo, and he got all this from songwriting. He doesn't have many like really popular songs that you can say have survived the test of time. Where majority of his money came from my understanding, is from songwriting. He is more of a behind the scenes specialist than he is up front. He does some things up front, but majority of his fame comes from the people that know him and he's helped write songs for. He's written songs. He's done his own songs. He's become an actor. He has a couple movies out. Neo is pretty well established in my book. To just sit here and assume that again, these high-end men, these high-earning men are just going to stay or be with only one woman, it's pretty much it's self-explanatory. I don't believe many men who are high earners are gonna openly just want to stay, with one woman. Majority of women know this, and for some reason they get with these high earning men. I'm not gonna say high value. We're just gonna stick to high earning because I don't know Neo. High earning men, they get with these high earning men and they just assume. I got raise my mic a little bit. I feel myself ducking down. I got him. I like him. I think he's gonna stay. I think he's good. I want him to be just mine. And then he's not. Let me adjust this, y'all. Then he's not. Then he starts cheating and venturing off. Go sweat too. I don't think there was 8 years of lies and deception. I truly would argue that she knew what was going on. I think the problem came because something might have happened with the unprotected. He might have have gone ahead and gotten the woman knocked up. I don't know. I don't speak on things that I don't know. She said, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and my husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Every last one of them. The few people I talk to about this subject, on the woman's side, yeah, he out here paying people to have sex with him. Let's talk about why men pay women to have sex with them, especially these high earning men. I actually don't consider it cheating when he starts to pay for sex, but it's not for the reasons that everyone else thinks. It's not because he's paying prostitutes. I believe there's two ways to, cheat and get with women outside of a relationship. There's the way that Neo did to just go up to somebody, pay them, and say, hey, I only want to do this with you. I want this to be a transaction. I want to pay to do it, and then we go about our business. The second way is to get into a whole separate relationship. To just say, you know what? I'm going to lie. I'm going to be deceitful to both parties, to my girl and the other girl. I'm going to get her under the presumption that I'm single. I'm going to start messing with you and her as if I'm in relationships with both of you. Most high earning men choose this way to not disrespect their women, if that makes any sense. But let me break it down to the women before y'all go ahead and try to come in my neck. Most men do this method so they won't confuse another woman to believe that they're in a relationship. They want to have the sex, but they don't want to have the relationship. So they decide to go this route and just pay for it, make it transactional, and let it just be that. It's actually more honorable and more respected to just pay for it and get it off the way, because then there's no attachment. Most of the time when men do this, when men decide to cheat, there is no attachment. They just want the sex. You got a lot of people that will go the relationship route because that's easier, it's cheaper. Sometimes the sex is even better when they know they're in a relationship with the person. But then you got men like Neo who openly wanted to make sure that this stayed a transaction. All of these women, he said, no, all I want to do is have sex. I don't want a relationship with you. I need you to know this. I'm openly married. I'm openly with my wife. This is all I need you for, is this one thing. That's it. Unprotected or not. I'd even argue. I've had this argument before. Some men, I gotta have this argument with y'all because this is, my space where I talk to people. I don't see the point in you having unprotected sex and then cheating to have protected sex. I think that it's kind of foolish to say that you just want to go there for sex and then do it protected. I don't believe condom sex is the same as non-condom sex. So when we get into that, I'm cheating, but then I'm going to have condom sex with her, I don't see the point in dealing with other women and then having condom sex. It's kind of stupid to me, but, to each their own. Neo decided to kind of do that same thing. He decided to say, you know what? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to pay these women. Probably got them all tested. Probably make sure they know everything. Everything is good. And I want to do it unprotected. But he paid him for it. And then she contradicted herself because she said unknowingly, she used that word. And then she also came down and she said, I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something that it isn't. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about the fact that you unknowingly, that you didn't know what was going on? Or are we talking about the fact that you were lying about, what was going on? I can't believe that a man who was married to her, he was, I guess, engaged before, that a man of his stature worth $9 million is going to allow his wife to believe that he isn't sleeping around. I think that she openly knew this. She probably didn't know to what extent, which is pretty much understood in these circles. When you have these high earning men, most of them, it's like an unwritten rule. Listen, I'm going to do it. I'll never talk about it, and it'll never get back to you. And we just leave it at that. Somehow, Neo messed up. Somehow, this got back to her. Now let's get over to the family side of it. They have 3 kids together. 3 kids. Neo broke his vow to her to never commit adultery. Now she's ready to ruin the family and break her vow to God and her husband because he broke his vow and didn't keep his penis to himself. I don't believe you should fight fire with fire. I know a lot of people are going to look at me like, Larry, here you go, defending the man. I'm not defending the man. I didn't say what Neo did was right. What I said, what I believe, is that you don't fight a sin with a sin. You can't say, that because you broke that vow, now I'm going to break this vow. Y'all have a family together. This can be worked out. It should be worked out. I believe they had a conversation about what was going on. I just don't believe that maybe she knew to this extent and somehow, some way it got leaked. That previous video I did about the Michael Blackson stuff. Michael Blackson openly went into his relationship letting his woman know that he wants to do this. And every time I hear scenarios like this, I immediately think back to when Michael Blackson said he wanted to be able to deal with a select few women to do this with. And I understand why, because just like Neo, like I said, I don't see the point in going to have sex with other women if you're going to do it protected. I'm not the type that's going to be just keep believing in the condom sex. I think there's a difference, and I don't see the point in, going out and doing it if you're going to do it protected. I would rather have women that I know. If I were in this scenario, I would rather do the same thing. I'd rather have a few select women that I know, that know what's going on, that I can still, continue to pay. They agree to shut up. I agree to pay. And we just handle our business like that. It's tough. I would rather get more information on what's going on. And I wish I could hear, more about what was going on. We're going to get to Neo's statement in a second. But I wanted to cover this because even just based off of her statement, I didn't like what was being said. And I didn't like the fact that she was willing to throw away her family based on the fact that he paid to have sex with other women. He didn't get caught in a relationship. Still unclear if there's a baby or, something involved. But I know for a fact that he wasn't trying to be in a relationship with other women. He literally just wanted sex from other women, which is pretty much what you get when you deal with these superstars and these entertainers and these rappers and majority of high earning men. This is why Kevin Samuels always asks, why do you want a so-called high value or high earning man? Because a lot of y'all women don't understand what comes with it. Those high earning men have options that we pretty much don't even understand. And with those options comes the women that you have to compete with. Most women think that, I just got to compete, with my neighbor or my homegirl. No, you're not competing with these women. You're competing with the women that are around those men. And the women that are around those men are willing to do things like this, are willing to sign contracts where they get paid and they just let a man do what they want to their bodies. There are women that will jump when a man says, hey, I'm in Atlanta, I already got you this flight. I need you to stop everything you're doing, jump on that flight. There are women that are dimes and will jump on that flight. And then there are women that are average, that are 6s and 7s here in Cleveland, that'll be like, I'm not just about to jump on that flight, boy. You need to wine and dine me first. You need to come take me on a date. You think those high earning men gonna say, oh yeah, let me go take this 6 out on a date, even though that 10 waiting in my hotel room with her legs open? Because most of these men aren't looking for another relationship. They literally just want the sex. So they pay for it and get it. And they leave it at the door. Let's read Neo's statement about what he said. Neo, real name, Schaefer Shamir Smith. All right. For the sake of our children, my family, and I will work through our challenges behind closed doors, Neo tweeted. Personal matters are not meant to be addressed and dissected in public forums. I simply ask that you please respect me and my family's privacy at this time. His wife aired this out. He said, not having it. This shit gonna get handled behind closed doors, and we're gonna leave it at that. I guess back in 2020, they also had another issue. I don't want to get into this because I believe that's getting into the celebrity gossip. Like I said, I'm here to address her statement and the 8 years of the lies and deception, even though they just renewed their vows in April of this year. And her specifically talking about she's not a victim. You are if you decided to bring it to the public attention that this man has cheated. I don't agree that that's a reason to break up a family and end a marriage just because a man, chose to do this. And the way they do it really has a big impact on how things should be looked at moving forward. I, there's a level of respect in men where we understand, um, how women feel about certain scenarios. There is a certain thing in men where we also understand that we sometimes are just gonna want more sex. And like I said, there are men who make the conscious choice to either go one or the other. They say, listen, I want more sex. Some of them won't even go to the wife to see, or the girl to see, hey, are you willing to cut me some slack, give me a deal, give me a pass? Most of them, majority of them will say no. So now the man is left with, am I just going to be unhappy or am I going to just go get it? Most say, okay, I'm going to go get it, but I'm at least try to do it the respectful way. I'm going to pay for it, keep it moving. I think that there should be some type of, they should both get counseling for sure. And in counseling, there should be some type of middle ground to where he should, be able to talk to her and say, I was trying to do this, in a way to where, this is going to sound stupid, but to where I wasn't cheating, I was just getting sex. I wasn't in a relationship with these women. I literally just wanted the sex and I wanted it to keep it moving and I wanted it to stay like that. I'm not an advocate of ending marriages due to high value men who are on record for, doing things like this, for them going to do things like this. She knew what she was getting into. I think this should be a lesson to more women seeking high earning men, because a lot of them are going to want more sex, especially if their value remains at that level. You can guarantee it's coming from rappers and most athletes. None of them are really going to be bogged down, but they have an understanding that, hey, just don't let it get back. Don't have no babies and blah, blah, blah. I really like to hear feedback on this. This is going to be one of my shorter videos. I don't want to talk about it long because I don't, I don't know all the background and I don't need to. I just want to talk on the marriage aspect of it. We shouldn't be ruining, the kids' lives and the marriages based on the fact that dad just wanted vagina. He didn't want a relationship. He didn't want love. He still was making her happy. Apparently everything else was good enough for them to renew their vows in April. So everything else in the relationship is good. He just decided to step out on occasion. I don't believe that's a reason to end a marriage. I understand things happen, but sex, especially knowing the background, knowing the context of what's going on, I'm not with it. Tell me what you think. Tell me where I went right. Tell me where I went wrong. Like, share, comment on the video. And as always, just remember, over here, we argue facts, not emotions. I'm out.